Ladies and gentlemen, you're tuning in to the Ed Talk audio collection to help you achieve a whole mind, body, and nutrition. All right. Of course, like always, we start late here. Thank you guys for tuning in to Ed Talk. Today is I think it is the 7th episode of Ed Talk. It's a beautiful Monday. If you haven't noticed, time is pretty much flying by, so make the best of it. If you don't know what Ed Talk is all about, this is the show where we don't only try to keep you motivated, also inspired and moving. We try to keep you healthy. We bring people here that has the knowledge to help you get to the best version of you. So, like I said, last episode, I was saying how I'm always here talking about myself, right? Hearing my own voice. And I'm pretty much kind of like tired of that. So we got ourselves some guests here on the show. So just like I do on the Unlimited Power Show, I don't introduce anyone to the show. I have 3 different guests on my show here. So I'm going to have them introduce themselves. Whoever wants to go, the mic is all yours. Go ahead.
All right. Hi, I'm Corey Rose. I'm a freshman here at FAU, and I also host a show on Tuesdays. I'm the co-host for Talent Time with Corey and Safia. We air Tuesdays at 12. So, woohoo! I'm really excited to be here.
Sweet plug.
You know, shameless self-promo.
Hi, y'all. My name is Brandon Sella, sophomore for FAU. I work for OWL TV. I'm their production coordinator. Yeah.
My name is Denise Gordon. I'm in association with LTV. I'm starting my own group called Color Productions. It's basically a student movie production group where you can basically produce your own short films. I'm a freshman, and my major's in biological sciences, yet I love the entertainment industry. It's weird, but I love it.
Why do you love the entertainment industry, Denise?
Because it gives you a platform where you can express yourself. You know, it's not limited. You can show your creativity. So that's why I like the entertainment industry.
Yeah. Is it like more for creativity? Do you think the entertainment industry is?
Well, at first it was.
Yeah.
But now Hollywood is kind of skewing towards trends and not really true expression.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of political messages in like media itself. I think actually that's a really great subject for us to discuss today is the importance of media.
But I think it's also you gotta find the areas because it's easy to just paint the broad stroke of like it's all becoming just trending or whatever can make the quick buck. But then you'll find those films here and there. You know, I mean, okay, here's one. Mad Max Fury Road was like a great box office success, but still was great had great artistic qualities and was just a great story overall, you know. So I guess it's about finding like the little ones here and there because
Your pockets.
Yeah, because even though Marvel tells great stories like Avengers films and like Marvel films have become tiring of just like the same kind of tone overall, and then we're not going to talk about Transformers because that's its own crap cycle. So
How many Transformers movies were there?
Like 6?
Okay, we got 2 of the Megan Fox. We got 1 of the. Yeah, no, there was the first one, and and then we had the 3 with the third one with the other girl. Then we had and then I think there's 2 Mark Wahlberg ones. So 5.
I remember I found out I was gay because I was watching the Transformers movie, and there was the shot of Megan Fox leaned all the way over that motorcycle, and I said, "Wow, her hair is really uneven."
Wow.
There are 8 Transformers films, by the way.
Hold on.
No.
Let's backtrack right quick. Wait, so you found out?
I didn't find out, but that was like one of my first like little inklings.
Wait, when was that?
That movie came out. That movie came out like 07, 09. I think it was the second one. So that would have been 09. So yeah, I was like 10.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So do you think we kind of like just find stuff out? So if like a movie can make you find something about yourself, what does that say about media? You know, I think that's extreme that like movies can really have such great impact on like how we think. That's kind of why I got into media, really. Like a lot of stuff I'm doing is to kind of put in positivity to drown out the negativity that's going on in the world, right? And all 3 of us actually is very thoroughly involved with media. Like I have my YouTube channel where I have all these different shows. Corey does his podcast. Brandon pretty much works around media all the time. He's a production manager at Our TV. That's what he does.
Ooh, lit.
So that's pretty lit. And Denise is is starting something that's gonna be big, right?
I'm trying to.
She's the one doing cool stuff.
I'm trying.
People have been picking up those posters that you put in the APO office.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Like I went in there last night and there were not many left.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Dang. Okay.
I see you guys. All right, so we got caught up with the media right quick. So, today is, I would say, an open ed talk, right? Normally I keep this around the same subjects. So what I'm going to have, how we're going to do is we're going to do some discussions, right? So you guys are going to ask me some questions, ask each other some questions, and we're going to answer it. And that's how we're going to go. And we'll see where that goes. All right. Anybody think of a question you can?
I got a question for you.
Okay.
Ed.
All right.
So do you think that it's hard to commit to somebody in college?
Ooh.
Well, damn.
Ooh.
Is it hard to commit to somebody in college?
Like in a relationship?
Yeah.
No. Or like how you commit to going to class? Because I don't.
So do you think that it's hard to commit to one person in college?
Well, I think everything is hard. Well, not really. Nothing is hard. Everything is easy, but the way you look at it is what makes it hard or difficult. I mean, hard or easy. So what I mean by that is if you look at your relationship as something that you really treasure, like this is the most important thing to you in the world, then it won't really be hard, right? You could ignore all the different people that's like, me, like have me like Burger King. But anyways, so I don't think it's hard. I think it's just your mindset and your mind state.
So it depends. But everybody, well, from what I've seen, it seems like it's the hardest thing.
I think that it's going to be hard, just the fact that being away from somebody and then being surrounded by a whole bunch of new people, attractive people and stuff like that. It's going to be hard regardless of what your mindset is or regardless of like what your willpower is. Mm-hmm. But it's the resilience or how you deal with that really puts your relationship to the test.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it depends on the person.
Yeah.
Because if they're a jackass, then they're a jackass.
I kind of feel like if you really, really, really care about that person, you would go the extra mile to make sure that there's nothing affecting you or getting in the way of what you see. When you really, and when you really care about somebody, you would do whatever you can for them.
Because you're not surrounding yourself with other girls and stuff.
Exactly. You're not going to put yourself in that position. But
so that way, when something do pop off, people be the first to say, "Oh, well, I was trying real hard, but you just put me in that situation," and that's how you get them love and hip hop relationships.
Yeah, throwing drinks in your face, weaves ripped out. It's not cute.
Not cute. Don't be caught out here fighting. FU has a zero tolerance policy for fighting.
Zero tolerance?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, hey, so do you think you should be in a relationship in college or not?
I don't think college is like some void space and time where you just can't be in a relationship. I think that college relationships are a lot easier if you're with the person and y'all are both going to the same university or living in the same area. I've seen those relationships. Like, I just left high school and I see people who have like already broke up and gone their separate ways, but I also see people who went to the same college from our high school and they're still like together going strong and stuff. Yeah. So albeit though I'm an outsider looking into that relationship and I don't really know, the details and stuff. Yeah. I don't know what's going on behind closed doors. Right. To me, they look fine.
Well, I think it's like test driving a car, right? You come to college, there's like some Bugattis, there's some Ferraris, there's some Toyotas, some 1995 Camrys. What you got to do is keep test driving the car. And like, junior or senior year, then you kind of like, okay, now you settle down. That's kind of like what I've seen amongst my peers. It's like they've been going wild for a couple of years, but like when time comes said and done, they kind of like
try everything.
They kind of like figure it out.
Look, I done seen some freshmen. We was in the same orientation group. They were all bright-eyed, wide-eyed, ready to get to college and stuff. Oh, I can't wait to be, an academic scholar of success. And now they're around here like strung out every day. Every time I check their Snapchat story, it's like, hit me up for bud. So yeah, I mean, college is what you make it. And if you make it about, sowing your wild oats and partying and stuff, then you're gonna have to pay the consequences.
Yeah, you definitely gonna pay the consequences later on.
But if there's a balance, if you go out to a party after you get your work done and stuff, then that's okay.
Yeah, that's true.
Balancing it out.
It's all about balance. So, have you guys been committed to anybody in college so far?
What's a commitment?
That's a
what,
joke.
Can I get the definition and sentence?
Okay, so
Go
commitment
relationship
entails, honesty. It entails you being with one person and you being on the same page, and that you're not out there.
I think it's kind of hard to
Banging
be in a
everybody.
relationship in this generation because it's all about relationship goals, and people look up to that and they think that that's what it's supposed to be like. And then when it's not like that, it's not real. It's kind of like they follow social media, and it's kind of like it makes it hard for you to want. I don't think people in this generation really know what a real relationship is.
I don't know. I disagree with that. I think overall, there are a lot of people who do misconceptualize what a relationship is, and they judge what they think one is based off of either their parents or what TV tells them or like relationship looks like, and they think that like people like Rob and China are what they should aspire to. But I also think that there are really good examples of like true love out here that some people do take to heart, and they do try to follow that model.
Who's Rob and China?
Rob Kardashian and Black China.
There's a brother?
So the Kardashians have a very complex family tree because there's the Kardashians and then there's the Jenners. And so Rob Kardashian is the brother of Kris. Not Kris.
Kardashian, the father, is the dude with the OJ case.
Yes.
And
yes.
then Jenner
Rob Kardashian Jr.
Okay.
is the brother.
Got it.
You don't see him because he used to be like a model and everything, but then he didn't want to be on the show, so they kind of locked him like in a room for a long time. And when he finally came out of that room and back into the public view, he was like well over 300 pounds.
Why you said that about that boy?
What? I am just speaking the truth. Allegedly, they
allegedly
allegedly put him in a room, and allegedly he came out, and allegedly he was over 300 pounds. And so allegedly he got in a relationship with Black China, and allegedly they got married, and allegedly they had a baby.
You don't know who Black China is?
No.
Black China is also a model, a Instagram personality.
And an ex-stripper.
She's a stripper. She was a stripper.
Was she a stripper?
She was a stripper? She was a stripper, yes.
Yeah.
So
How'd she get famous?
Rob Kardashian and Instagram.
Oh, that's it?
You mean Tiger?
Oh, yeah, she was Tyga's baby mama first.
Yeah.
Who's Tyga again?
Tyga is a rapper who's also involved with Kylie Jenner, who is their
that guy.
half,
Okay, got
who is
it.
their half
Corey.
sister.
Just make sure we're not going into your show.
Yeah,
I just joking. All right, keep going, bro.
So yeah, what were we? We were talking about relationships. Rob Kardashian and Black China's relationship. It started out real cute and stuff, and then like they'd be in the news because she bit him or he hit her and stuff like that. And then they got married, and she had him lose all that weight, and then they just.
Oh, she admitted that he had like a weight loss surgery.
Oh, for real?
For real.
Well then. Yeah, their relationship has just been very tumultuous, but people still look up to it because it's the story of like a come up.
Okay.
I mean, it's a story of a come up, but I also think it does give a negative perception of like how relationships works now,
Yeah.
and it kind of a lot of the young women who's tuning in to the Kardashians, which there are a lot of like middle schoolers, even probably elementary kids, and then what they're learning now is, this is how I could rock, like forget. People are just kind of becoming more self, like, okay, this is for me. I'm gonna do what's best for me, and screw them, like. So I think that's just not a good model for our generation.
So what good models do you think we have now?
The thing is, I hear this a lot about our generation. Like, our generation is this, our generation is that, the millennials are so entitled. The millennials like can't get jobs, and it's like. It's BS. They're just putting a tag on millennials when the reality is maturity. We're just young now. I mean, at some point, the Generation X was like young like us.
Yeah.
You know, it's just that it just so happens that we're the youngins right
Because
now.
that same tag used to be on the baby boomers.
Yeah,
and on the 60s.
exactly.
kids and
So
stuff like
I
that.
mean, we are operating a different way through social media and all this stuff, which kind of give us an outlet to express ourselves. But if our parents had social media, think of all the dirt we'd seen about them. You know what I mean? We would see their horrible ways. So I think that social media now does play a role in that, you know, perception of relationships, and also to kind of it's like it's been happening, but we were too busy singing "Excuse Me, Miss" by Chris Brown that we didn't realize that we didn't realize that
Excuse me, miss. I say the last
that
chance
it was
you
happening because we wasn't talking about it. Now we're just talking about it. We're just hearing about it all the time. Yeah, but I think we're good people. We just got to find that in us. We just got to grow into that.
Millennials get a bad rep because we have access to information that our parents did not. And so when you have access to all these like information like institutional racism, and you get we're the generation that got woke. And so we have so we have
That's
all
literally
this
what it is, though.
we have all this access to information like talking about gender nonconformity and like the argument about whether or not masculinity matters in the male community and stuff.
Yeah.
And our parents didn't have all that. And so they see it as like extra, or they see it as unnecessary, or it's just BS. But it's more of a matter of, I guess, an unwillingness to change, an unwillingness to adapt to a society that's moving every day and moving forward. Yeah. And so with us, we're kind of one of those generations that's pushing society towards a new direction, a lot like the 60s, a lot like what happened in the 60s. And so I think there's a lot of resistance to that. And that's what we're seeing in our older generations, like our grandparents and our parents.
Yeah. I think this is also the greatest era to be alive. The cost to entry in anything is so slim, you know. Denise wants to start a film club. She has all the things she needs to make that happen. And if she so happens wants to create a movie to go to a film festival, she can make that happen. Right? You want to start a podcast, you've done it. If you want that podcast to be one of the best-selling podcasts, or not selling, but best trending or streaming, you can make it happen. Whatever we kind of want here as millennials, we can make it happen. So it's just about our perception,
resources and access,
and you know, using those. So, you know, let's go back to relationships. So Brandon,
What's up?
tell us about your relationships.
Oh man. Oh, do I want to talk about it?
I want to hear from Brandon.
You know what? The hell, sure. All right. No, I had one. I've had one relationship in the past. It was, how do I want to word this? All right. Not gonna name the person's name.
Please don't. I don't want nobody
No, that's fine. And, you know, she was like, you know, hey, let's, you know, and it was like really casual. Like, it started off as just like us going to the movies, and she was like, well, what this? And I'm like, okay, sure. And then, you know, kept on going, and then, you know, she was like, you know, oh, like sometimes I identify myself as like, you know, a guy. And I'm like, all right, cool, you know, keep on going, you know, and then it was like, oh, you know, deal, and then, you know, moving, boom, 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 and then she was like, you know, I'm bisexual. I'm like, okay, cool. And then, like, keep on going, boom, 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 and then it was like, you know, and like, I don't know how, let's see, how do I want to word this? All right, let's see. I'm trying to like walk around the landmines and stuff. But no, then it ended like she broke up with me, you know, like on the week of my birthday through text. That was rough.
Damn.
I'm like,
you know,
I'm like, why? And she's like, oh no, because, you know, I want to be with someone who
that's the worst
because
thing.
She always wanted to talk about like really serious stuff, and I'm like, can we just like relax?
Yeah.
And then,
but then
she's like, no, let's. And then we would talk, and then be like, okay, but like let's relax. We can like have our fun or whatever, and then just like move on, you know, because we have each other or whatever. She's like, no, but I want to be with someone. And then like, you know, like a year or so later, she now identifies as a guy. So like the joke is like, oh, Sella only dated like a boyfriend, only had a boyfriend. And I'm like, all right, cool, So yeah.
So how do you
So
think,
yeah.
well, let's keep going on that question. How do you think that experience is going to affect your future relationships?
Well, it was interesting, but
Do you think you've kind of just like let it go and moved on from that?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It was rough like afterwards.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
like
yeah.
How long ago was this?
this was 2015. Oh, so 2014, 15. Because we started dating around the time of Guardians of the Galaxy 1. And that was
Interesting.
but
To go back on what you said, my girlfriend, like the love of my life, right? My first love,
yeah.
like she broke up with me through text. After like 2.5 years. I was
Hell, man.
I was like, you done?
What do
like,
y'all be doing?
I was like, what the hell is going
Like,
on?
I feel like you gotta earn something to be broken up with.
No.
text.
I mean, like, I thought that was just really effed up because, like,
What-
I used to write that girl like love letters,
What'd she tell you?
poems. Huh?
What'd she tell you like in the
I don't really remember. All I know is, like,
you
I
mess-
was
did
like
you mess
out of,
up?
I
Like,
was like out of the country for a while, like, and then when I came back, and she was like broke up with me, I was like, well, I'm pretty much it.
Wow.
I think that didn't. A lot of things that you think don't affect you really do, which is just your subconscious, right? I think that did affect me, like, because I was all lovey-dovey, like I would like go extreme with my gifts and like poetry, but now like after that, I was like, I'm not gonna be like that, anymore. I'm just gonna be like she was saying, she was like, you have no emotions about anything. I was like, I just don't. So I think everything that happens kind of like does have a psychological effect on you, and sometimes you gotta like look back into it and kind of see that, so that way you could stop the pattern from reoccurring of that same situation. So Corey here, I want to hear about your relationships. It might be interesting.
I don't know. Okay, so like growing up gay is really weird because if you're in the closet, you really can't have one and be like open like straight people are with their relationships. So you really got to like keep it on the DL. So growing up, and I really hope my parents don't end up hearing this. Yikes. Like they know I'm gay, but it's still like yikes. Like growing up, I was real secretive about my relationships. I was like, oh yeah, it's a friend from theater. We're gonna play together. Like it was just stuff like that. And so I had a friend who I basically was like head over heels for. And he was sending me vibes, but not really. And then I don't know, we just ended up like just being friends for that summer. But then my parents saw like some post that he made about me being the yin to his yang, and so that got real dramatic. But I don't know, relationships, it's complex. My relationship so far, like mainly it's been positive experiences. It's just that when you're in a relationship and you're also in the closet, you always like keeping an eye over your shoulder and stuff, making sure like, oh, who are we going out with? Who's seeing us? Because I don't want to get back to them like, you're so-and-so and so-and-so. Because, if I see Miss Tasha out in the street, she going to tell mama and stuff like that.
Can I ask something like about dating? Like, how do you know if someone like plays for your team? Like
usually
Is it a vibe deal?
It's
okay.
It's like spider
really
senses.
obvious.
Yeah, it's either real obvious or you open Grindr and somebody's like 0 feet away.
Oh, okay, got you. Okay.
Do you ever hit on straight people?
No.
All right, thank you.
I'm not a there's a name for those. They're called predatory gays.
I don't like the people like that, and then they know you. Like they don't even know if you are. Like
I mean, and that's one thing that's. I can put up with predatory gays because
or at least,
a lot of times.
Okay, you wouldn't meet a regular person and be like, oh, you're sexy or something like that, or like you wouldn't meet some random person and try to holler at them off your first like encounter, right? You wouldn't do that.
Depends.
I'm saying any person, like whether you're straight or gay, you wouldn't just like see Brandon or like see Denise if you were like straight and be like, Denise, I don't know.
I don't
Provide. I don't know what the word
Of course,
is.
I'm not gonna be like, hey, let me get at that. But you know,
Well,
if I'm feeling somebody or I get vibes, I'm gonna be like, you know, give you eyes, like, oh, hello.
Okay,
How are we doing today?
So Denise, what are your relationships looking like
Yeah,
or
let's hear
looks
about
like?
this.
let's
Let's-
not even talk about this.
So try to don't talk too close to the mic.
We can't. I can't. No, that's not.
Okay.
Is it like bad?
we
or
all
is
we
it
all
awkward?
talked
It's
about
not
it.
even. It's not even bad. It's just like I've given up on that aspect of my life. That whole.
Well, let's.
Why is
I
that?
think this is not very
'Cause
interesting. I
love
want
is
to know
fake
why.
and men ain't
So
nothing.
you gave up on your love life? You got like what? How long you got left of your life? Probably like 75%.
That is a whole mess.
Got like 10% left.
Like, like
She
it's
brought up the
just-
topic.
it's just like, and this just happened recently. Like, I was dating this guy. He was my first boyfriend. I was dating him from junior year to basically until like the summer that I had to go to college, and that was it was hard because when I'm in love with somebody, I go really, 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 really hard, and I put in a lot of effort, and I just, like, when I'm with you, and I want to do anything and everything for you, and I felt like it wasn't getting reciprocated. So it was, and you know, on top of that, my dad didn't really like him. Like, and my dad didn't really like him because he had a different background than me, because I grew up in Broward and he grew up in Miami-Dade, and he already had a stigma about the type of people.
What? I'm from
Is
Dade.
there county
What?
beef?
Well, your dad had county beef?
Like, I'm from Jacksonville, so I don't know none of this like South Florida beef.
Damn.
But I know
That's
Broward
so
is
crazy.
somehow different than Brevard.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
definitely.
that's definitely
So like,
I'm from Dade. It was only school beef. That was.
yeah, I didn't
But
even know it's that deep.
But it was just like, no, he had a stigma about them because he was an officer and he was part of the Miami-Dade police. So he had a, yeah. So he was just like, you know, you better watch out and all of that stuff. But my dad basically kept breaking me and him up because he would see little things that we would do. And he was just like, nah, I don't like that. Break up.
yikes.
There was even like there was a situation where my dad had came home and I was like cussing because this dude would not pick up his phone. Like, I would call him at 2 p.m. and this guy wouldn't return my calls until like 3 in the morning. Like, and that would happen constantly. So one day I got mad, I started cussing, I started screaming. My dad heard me. He was just like, Denise, that's you cursing like that? And I was just like, yeah. He was just like, what's you cursing? And my dumb ass said, oh, it's about my boyfriend. He was just like, I will go over there and I will be his he was going crazy. He was just like, this dude is not about to have you out here looking crazy. Break up with him. Da 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 da.
I know that's right. I'm that friend.
Like my dad, he was just like, I'll beat his ass and yours. Like, he was going crazy.
It's not like you got a good dad though.
Like, no, he cares a lot. Really, really strict. So, but we ended up breaking up. We got back together. My dad was pissed. He was pissed because of what I had done. And we kept going out. We went out for like another year. And basically we broke up because we got into an accident. I let him drive my car. And we collided into another car. And my dad didn't know about it. And that was 2 days before my dad had found a condom in his wallet, because he had left his wallet in my car. He looked through the wallet and tried to find out whose wallet was. He saw the condom in there and saw his ID in there. And yeah. So
And that was the end of your relationship.
and that was the end of it, you would think. Once my dad found the condom, you would think. But then we ended up back talking again. Because like, I was that in love with kid.
Yeah.
So then after that, I went out with him, tried to go to the beach. We didn't even end up going to the beach because that was during like Memorial Weekend. So it was packed. So we just decided to go back home. I let him drive my car because the GPS was rerouting and wasn't working. I let him drive the car, and we crashed. He crashed into somebody else because they tried to cut us off.
Was he drunk or was it just him?
No, he was trying to cut in front of us.
Okay.
And yeah, so we ended up getting into an accident. When I tell you, I got out that car and I almost had an asthma attack, and it was 90 degrees outside, and I was falling out, and I was just like, you're the first person I let drive my car. You're the one who crashed. I was losing my mind because my dad does not like this boy.
Yeah.
And I let him drive my car.
Dang.
And we crashed. and that was a week before. That was a week before. That was a week after prom. So I had to end up going to prom with my friend because my dad found a condom in his wallet.
So what was your lesson from that?
My lesson was don't let nobody drive your damn car. Number one. Number two.
Yeah, that go both ways.
Number two, I'm not gonna drive nobody's car. I ain't stupid. And my second,
it is definitely illegal to be driving without insurance and without being on the insurance for somebody's car.
Exactly. And mind you, he was 19 years old with a permit.
What?
Okay.
Oh, so he was older than you.
He 19. He could have got a driver's license without even taking the test.
He was 19.
What? Okay.
What happened?
Your learner's permit is like somebody
you can
over
get strikes
the age
on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Somebody over the age of 18 has to be in the car with you for a learner's permit. But if you over 18, you can just go ahead and get your license.
Yeah, you gotta take a test though.
So it was so many things wrong with that situation. So I said, and then 2 days after that accident, he didn't call me, check up on me.
So I mean, so the lesson was,
don't let nobody drive your car, and you need to watch out who you date. First off,
same way. I was thinking when he said, "Don't let nobody else drive your car." It's like if you look at it in a both materialistic way and as you being a vehicle, right? Like, don't let nobody drive you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can be in love with them, but just make sure that they're not the ones directing your life and your emotions. And I think that's kind of like what goes with a lot of relationships is that we become so dependent on that other person that we let them kind of like drive our emotions, drive how our days is all looking like we're like, oh, well, this person didn't call me, I'm going to have a horrible day, right? A reason why I'm not in a relationship right now is because I'm trying to work on my communication issues, you know? I realize that I'm so like into what I'm doing, into all these different things that I can't keep so much communication with people. And I realize that it's not going to be great to have a relationship without those communications.
What's your sign, Ed?
You already know what my sign is.
No,
I
tell
don't
people
even
what
go
your
by
sign.
this thing. I'm an Aquarius,
Of course.
which is what people tell me, but I don't really know because I'm not like a big horoscope guy.
I'm a big horoscope person. Well, zodiac type person.
Okay, so answer me this. Why y'all hate Gemini so much?
I love Geminis.
Why am I always getting hatred about being
You're a Gemini?
two-faced? Yes.
I love
June
Geminis.
16. I'm
So what are you?
always...
What are you?
Guys? Everybody.
I'm a Virgo.
So what do they say about Virgos?
Well, they say that Virgos are very analytical. We overthink, but we're good people to talk to and dependable. You know, they say that about the Aquariuses. They're very creative, but yet they're very aloof and detached. They don't put emotions with things. They just do what they have to do and they go. That's why when you told me you was an Aquarius, I was just like, okay, I understand now. Because I go by zodiac. So what's your sign?
Pisces. Yeah.
So what is that? Hey, since you're the expert over here,
Pisces?
Denise.
Over emotional, right? Or like emotional.
You know, I mean, it's not even so much about emotional. You guys naturally have a big heart. You guys are very, I want to say, curious type people. You guys are very open-minded, and you guys have a good sense of imagination.
Yeah, I think that describes Brandon pretty well.
Yeah, but Geminis are very free-spirited people. They listen. They go with the flow. They go wherever it takes them. They tend not to list. They don't necessarily. They're very petty people.
Yes.
Yes,
indeed.
I have to say they are very petty people. And my best friend, he is a Gemini, and my mom's a Gemini. So I'm around Geminis. I'm in love with Geminis because they're just such interesting people. Yet they get on my nerve, but I love them to death. So
I always get so much hate for Geminis. Like
Geminis get a lot of hate.
You can't say the word Gemini without hearing two-faced bitch and all this other stuff. I'm like, no.
We're on the air.
Oh, shoot. Yes. Two-faced female dog.
It doesn't even. Well.
Yeah, we get a lot of stigma, a lot of hate.
Definitely.
But it's just because we are sociably versatile.
That is true.
I can go to person A. I can know person A and person B hate each other, and I can go to person A and be like,
Oh, definitely.
I understand completely.
They do not like choosing sides. They're neutral, and that's why people see them as fake because they just do it, and they change their mind a lot. It's ridiculous how much they change their mind, and I'm pretty. You change your mind a lot,
Yes.
don't you? I know.
I can't order food. I cannot order food because I'll be like, do I want the chicken or do I want the chicken wings?
See. I know my zodiacs too well.
It looks like Denise here is an expert at this. She just described
Denise is that so Raven.
all three of us over here. Okay, that's pretty good. So it seems like everybody had some relationship turmoil in their past, traumas, the things, and I think that's a relationship.
Trauma is an understatement.
Yeah, I wouldn't call mine trauma. I just, it comes with the experience.
Yeah, I wouldn't call mine a trauma. I think it was a great experience, right? I think my first relationship was the best, and I know I'm gonna have a great one at some point, right? So, but I think it's also about growing to the person the best version of you. You never get to the best version of you really until you die. That's kind of like your best version. But
Not
I would
for
say,
Whitney.
What was that?
I said not for Whitney.
Not for Whitney. I guess some people revert. Some people reach 18 and live really great, and then their life goes downhill from there.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Chris Benoit.
A lot of people I'm already seeing. They peaked in high school.
They peaked and then declined.
And then what was that?
So much shade in this podcast.
What was I? It's shade because we got Gemini's, Pisces, Aquarius, everything up in there, and a Virgo. Okay.
Shading is an art form derived from reading. Reading is just an outright attack on somebody using wit, using humor, and using timing.
That's a read.
And from reading, we get shade. Shade is, I know you're ugly, but I'm not going to tell you you're ugly because you know you're ugly. And that is what shade is. Shade is an undercut. It is a sly remark that you don't catch
ugly,
until it's already hit you in the back of the head.
Did you look in the mirror today?
Yeah, exactly. Or
today?
you look real nice today.
Today. What about every other day? No, today.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait, hold on. No, like
No.
I don't think that's.
I don't think that's.
Yeah,
shade all
no,
the time.
that's
So what's not shady about that?
Yo,
because
you look
it's
good
like
today.
maybe it's like I don't know something they did with their hair or something
yeah.
like. It's like
No, there's-
that's
Like you smell good today.
There's
like,
there's a difference. No, it all comes down to how you say it. If I look at her and I'm like, "You smell good today," if
how I smell like every other day.
that's no.
Like poo. Like it's just bad.
no,
You
like
gotta-
straight up, you smell good today. That's not a shade. But me looking at her, giving her an up down first, and then looking back and then be like, "You smell good today."
Today.
That's shade.
That's
Oh,
shade.
okay.
It all
Alright,
depends
fair
on your
enough.
inflection.
Okay, alright.
Yeah, the way you kind of say the words.
But see, that's
But it's
shade.
also your perception of it.
Yeah.
Because like
If
you can say, okay,
somebody
you look
sized you
good
up
today,
and
but
down.
like if you just very insecure, you're gonna be like today.
Yeah.
But if you're really confident in yourself, I don't think people could really throw a lot of shade at me because they end up looking really, really stupid. Like because they'll be like, well, look, Ed, you got detached earlobes. It's like I'm like, okay, cool.
Wait, somebody talk
You
about
can
your
always
earlobes?
you can
People
always
used
tell
to
an
in
insecure
like,
person
elementary.
because an insecure person is always thinking that somebody's out to get them.
Yeah.
Oh, girl, you look good today. Well, how I look every other day. What is this? Are you trying to say something? Like,
Yeah.
insecure
Yeah.
people are always thinking that somebody's out to get them or
That's
something
true.
out to get something that they love.
That's very true.
And that's why insecure people will attach to you if they see that you like interested in somebody that they know or somebody that they like. If I have a whole read about insecure people.
Insecure people, they like to get attached because
They don't want to lose what they
they
have.
don't want to lose what they have.
Yeah. And I think a lot of us, we just don't react to things the right way. That's pretty much it. Everything that's been going on in your life could just be a lot different. It's really like your reaction to those things. I've been taking an acting class, right? So what we have to do in acting is just, we've done a lot of different things. Like we just walk around, hug each other, stare each other in
Wait,
the
who's
eye.
your professor?
What's her name again?
Is it Elizabeth Price?
No.
Oh, dang.
I forgot my professor's name.
Is it
No,
Catherine?
I know her
Lynn?
name. I know her name.
Catherine Zeta-Jones?
You know
But
the whole department.
But anyways, I do. I just forgot it right quick. But anyways, what I learned is we don't necessarily always see people, right? We don't see people. We just walk by, right? So we're talking about relationships. We're talking about love relationships. What do you think your relationships with just people in general is like? How do you respond and see people? Do you kind of like notice them when you walk around? And how important do you think that is?
I'm a very observant person, and so before I make a move to even speak to you, I will have already been watching or looking at you for at least a couple of minutes to know, okay, well, how does this person interact with other people in the room? How is this person dressed? Does she smell stank? Do he look ugly? Does he wear a stank attitude? Is he very pleasant? Does everybody in the room try to gravitate towards him? Is that somebody I need to associate myself with? Is that somebody who has power or authority in this situation?
And how long you made all these answered all these questions?
Less than a minute.
Okay.
And so that judge it, like, for me, if the answers are more positive than negative, then yeah, that's somebody you can approach. Be like, hey, I'm Corey. What's your name? So and so. And that's how you build friendships with people who, I guess, have authority or have power or stuff like that. I don't know. That sounds real, like, strategic, but it's really not.
I mean, it sounds like you're kind of having preconceived ideas of different people based on certain attributes or just little things that may not be true. You know? That may be completely off.
Sometimes I'm off. Sometimes I'll be thrown for. Sometimes I'll think somebody's like the nicest person, and then they open their mouth, and they start talking. It's like, oh wow, I was so wrong. But then, like, other times, I'll be like completely right, but I won't know that I was right until months later when it finds out that they done did something. To screw somebody else over, and I'm like, I knew I shouldn't have talked to her.
Okay, so anybody else? What's your preconceived idea of people, and how do you react to people when you just?
I just try to take everyone at face value.
Yeah.
I just kind of move through, and just like if I connect with someone, then okay, cool. I'll talk to them. Other than what?
Oh no, my hat hit the mic. I'm
sorry.
What do you mean?
I thought it was like something I said. I'm like, oh, okay.
No.
But no, try and take everyone at face value because it's the version of them that they want to put out. So I'll take it with them, and if they want to get deeper, then we'll get deeper. But I'm trying to make connections with other people, and if they're trying to make connections, then great. Then we hook up, and it's like it'll be good, But if not, then keep on moving.
That's good. How about you, Denise?
Me?
Yeah.
I kind of like, from what Corey said, like I have that same type of mentality, to be honest with you. Like I'll see somebody and I'll have that initial, type of stigma about you.
Type of reading vibes.
Right. Like I read vibes, like from the way you walk, from the way you carry yourself, from the way you come up to me. Like I already have this feeling about you, and to be honest, like 8 times out of 10, I'm right, because you can just say one little thing and it'll show who you are.
Vibes do not lie.
They don't.
I'm a strong believer in intuition, and of course, if somebody proves me wrong, great.
Right.
You either prove me wrong for the better or prove me wrong for the worse, and prove me wrong for the better. All the best to you.
So I would disagree. Vibes do lie, because vibes is a response to your circumstance as well. You might be overly stressed and be a completely different person, and you don't even really know it. So this is why I go into the way I act is not only do I kind of connect with people on a more of energy level, frequency level, and I think when you get to a certain frequency, like with your brain, you could see and understand people. You can see, okay, this is the type of person they are, but I don't judge them, right? I treat everyone like the same. Like I would see the homeless guy, I'll treat him the same way as I treat the CEO. That's how I've met a lot of people. I try not to make a preconceived idea. I just say this is a human being. I'm a human being. I'm no greater than this guy is, so I'm gonna try my best to just be a good person to that person.
Of course.
I mean, I don't come from a place of judging to be better than somebody, but I do come from a place of, is this somebody who I feel like I will benefit from interacting from? And if within that minute I don't feel like I will benefit from interacting with you, I'm not gonna approach. Because I don't want to waste my time.
Okay.
Yeah, because you already it's kind of like a mechanism. Like you kind of have to develop that, especially now, because you never know what anybody's true intentions are.
It's serious.
Yeah, you don't. They
never caught the Zodiac killer.
Oh. Like, to be honest with you, I believe in respecting people off bat.
Yeah.
But it's still about that. Okay, I'm gonna respect you, but I'm still gonna keep this idea in my head.
Until you prove me wrong.
Right. So I definitely have to keep that in my head. People here have been proving me right, left and right. So
I mean, and maybe I do miss connections from that, from misreading people, but I feel as though the connections that I have made from reading vibes and being right outweigh the ones that I haven't. Like, I feel as though if you come at, and maybe maybe like you said, maybe somebody is having an off day.
Yeah.
Of course.
But if you're having an off day, why do I want to talk to you today? Like, maybe if you have an off day and you feeling like your attitude is on 10, why should I talk to you right now today? I'll wait till next time, and if you feeling all right then yeah.
But maybe that's when they need you the most.
Need me for what? I ain't
just
nobody.
Maybe you didn't have to even speak to them or be a friend. It could just be like, hello.
You can't even help anybody unless they want help. That's number one. Number two, if they
well,
tell
he's
you
saying they want help, but they're not about to talk.
But I'm not asking you to help them. I'm not like these are just people you see normally, daily. How do you respond to them, right? I'm not telling you, okay, this is gonna be your best friend. You know, this is just normal people on a regular day. Is your response to those people?
I mean, I'm not going to be cold. Well, I don't know. I can't. I'm naturally. I've been told that I'm cold because I just will sit with a plain face and not really speak unless I see a reason to speak. But like, I'm not going to be cold, but I will be cordial. So even if you are having a bad day, I'll be, extend the respect of when I come into a room. Hey, how are you? Stuff like that. But I'm not going to actively engage somebody who I see is having a bad day.
Yeah.
Because I'm not Oprah. Sense. I'm not here to be your hug for the day, and I'm not here to be your everybody loves you. It's gonna be all right. Ooh, child, things are gonna get brighter.
Oh Lord Jesus.
Now he gives a whole lyric.
Let me ask something. Do you think if the way someone dresses you can tell for their character from that?
Yes.
Definitely.
In what way?
If your clothes are dirty and messy,
of course,
then I'm probably not going to engage because
looking dingy.
Yeah. I mean, and there's a difference between how somebody dresses as far as their style and how somebody dresses as far as how they carry themselves.
Hygiene is very important.
Hygiene is key. Like if I see somebody wearing like a Star Wars t-shirt and like some shorts and some white socks that go all the way up to their knees and some tennis shoes, I'm going to be like, fine, that's their style.
Yeah.
I don't have any problem.
What's wrong with Star Wars?
Huh?
What's wrong with Star Wars?
Nothing.
That's
my
just making sure. All right.
That's my point. Like that doesn't matter to me. But if the Star Wars shirt, but like if I see somebody in a polo shirt, slacks, and dress shoes are crinkled, khakis are wrinkled, and the shirt is like frumpled up.
Oh Lord.
Then that's not somebody I'll go to engage with because you don't carry yourself the right way.
Yeah. Right. Why I would differ to every single one of your questions.
Oh my gosh.
I beg to differ because I've seen myself be in a lot of different ways. I used to wear a tie every day in high school. I used to be like the pretty boy. That's what they called it, right? So I would wear like cardigans, ties. I had a tie competition with my teacher.
I love a good cardigan.
And I would
used to be the pretty boy?
Yeah.
You're ugly as hell. How's that work?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Thank you, Brandon. You see, Brandon, that would hurt me, but I know I'm very handsome. I gotta like. Don't you see my cheekbones? Don't you see my face structure? But anyways,
very confident.
When I came to college, I was wearing suits every day, legit. I was like looking always fly. But then I've had periods of my life where I was extremely bummy. When people would think like, who the hell is this guy? And I've met owners of businesses where the girl passed right by him. He's like, well, that's like he's drunk or he doesn't look like the owner. And I'm like, hey, how you doing? And I found out he's the owner, and I make connections with the owner because I'm not judging him how he's dressing at that point, right? So I try to operate on a molecular level, on a frequency level, like he's a human being. Let's engage with him because the homeless guy that just looks like he stinks could be someone who's great. I've spoken to homeless people before, and they've just spit some great knowledge on me. I'm like, oh. You know what I mean? So I try not to even judge people by what they dress anymore. I could care less. That's why I wear short and like a shirt every day now.
I mean, for me, it's less how you dress and more how you smell. How you smell is one of the most important things about a person. Because I physically, I do not want to be near you if you stink. And like, I don't think a CEO of any company would be out here stank. So like, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe there are exceptions. But
yeah,
I feel like
sometimes you can be stink.
To be honest, I feel like sometimes CEOs have so much money that they stop caring. Like in some situations, they stop caring, and they just like, I'm already rich. I could do whatever I want. So I think it's a balance between reading people and not judging somebody at the same time. I do think it's a healthy balance between it.
Yeah.
But it's just like, it's just, my main thing is just be respectful to all people, but still have that, just have that certain type of vibe for somebody, and still, look at them and analyze them, and what they say and and what they do.
Yeah,
because I used to be like that, to where I never judged anybody upon meeting somebody, and I'll always be like, hey, I'm Corey, la 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 la, and then that ended up attracting a lot of people into my life that I did not need, a lot of people that did not have a positive impact on my life.
Yeah.
And so as I got older, especially through high school, where drama is literally like at every corner, I started cutting people off, and I started being more critical about who I'm letting into my circle.
Definitely.
So I can be around you, but
Let me ask you something.
Mhm.
Have you ever, like, not physically, or physically maybe, have you ever, like, actively kicked someone out of, like, your world or whatever?
Yes.
Of course.
What was the best kick out?
Okay, so one time, this was in 11th grade. This was in 11th grade, and I had this friend. Her name was Alex. And me and Alex were best friends, like, all through 9th and 10th grade.
Shout out to Alex.
I don't know where she at now, and I don't care. Me and Alex were, like, best friends all throughout 10th and 9th grade, went everywhere together, had all the same classes, everything. And this was our 11th grade theater class. And she wasn't in that class, but she had a mutual friend who was.
Mm-hmm.
And her mutual friend was, like, real aggravating, very, very annoying to the soul. And I remember one time me and her friend got into it over something petty. Like, I think she sat in my seat and I told her to move, and we got into an argument over that, and she ended up calling me the N-word.
Yeah.
Alex is not black. The friend is like Colombian or something. I don't know where her friend at. Anyway.
Colombian or something.
Yeah.
Right.
And she called me the N-word. This is a class of like 60 people. And when I tell you, the spirit of the ancestors flowed into me, and I cursed her out in front of all them people, teacher and all.
The spirit of the ancestors.
And so I remember texting my friend Alex after it happened. I was like, you need to get your friend, because she's stepping out of line. And she called me during lunch, and she was like, what did you do to make her call you the N-word? And I told her to leave. Like, she came to the lunch table like 15 minutes later, and I told her, don't sit with us anymore. And I don't think we talked again for another like 9 months. And then we had a class together the second semester senior year, and we were like cordial, but I never got close with her ever again, because that showed me that you couldn't be trusted.
This is actually exactly what last thing I want to talk about is cutting up people off, right? And this is gonna be one thing I experience all the time here at FAU, and it's been striking my mind how people think I don't like them or don't. Because here's what's happening. I know a lot of different people, right? That I just kind of like say hello to.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I be caught up in my own mind or where I'm going. I'll be like even reading on my phone, and then I kind of like one time didn't say hello.
Yeah.
And then now they're just like, oh, he doesn't
So
like
you
me.
don't like me, huh?
So now
So you can't talk?
They try their best to ignore me every single time. And
Yeah.
I'm like, and then what I try to do, I try to make eye contact, and they don't make eye contact. I'm like, I can't say hello to you if you're not looking at me. And then that has happened with a lot of people. And I'm like, I probably didn't see you, or maybe I was at a party and I knew like 50 people there, and I probably didn't want to say hi to all 50 people.
Yeah.
Ed, you got a good kicking out story?
Huh?
You got a good story about like kicking someone out?
Oh, kicking someone out? The thing with me is a lot of people that I kind of cut off, they're cut off in a weird way. I just never just.
You lost contact?
Or you just lost contact. I've lost
Yeah.
contact to a lot of people.
And I think there's a difference between having a friend that fades out and then having a friend that you cut off. Because cutting off is intentional.
Yeah.
Fading out can happen for a multitude of reasons. They move away, or maybe y'all start moving on two different wavelengths, and y'all stop pretty much rocking with each other because y'all are going two separate ways.
Yeah. Speaking of that, life has cut off most people for me.
Yeah.
Life has cut off a lot of my friends, a lot of people I've been hanging around with, and just replaced them with a lot of different people. Like the people I'm hanging around with now are people who are older than me, teaching me something, who are like really successful. I'm like hanging out with business owners, like even millionaires, or even like people who are introducing me to the right people. And it's just by fostering the right, energy within myself, kind of.
Because then those be the ones that life cuts out for you. Or me personally, I think God does it for a reason.
Yeah, that's by life I mean God. Yeah.
God puts people in your life for a specific time, for a specific reason. And when it's time for them to go, he makes sure that they are on the way out. Because like with Alex, the whole thing that I learned from that friendship was that I need to have my own identity. I used to be like, she was a real like upper class, like her parents had a mansion and all this other stuff. And I was her friend, so we would mainly be around her friends who are also like white and rich and like upper class. And I would a lot of times find myself rolling my eyes internally, but on the outside being like, haha, yeah, I guess I am an Oreo. And I quickly learned, that doesn't fly.
That's rough.
So yeah, I had to learn this is who I am. This is who I am, who I need to be.
Yeah.
I can't let anybody else change that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I feel like at the end of the day, it boils all down to who you. It kind of boils down to like you're being in tune with yourself. And I think that's the main thing we need to work on. Sometimes you may be the friend that they need to cut off.
Mm-hmm. And that's happened. I've had people cut me off, or not even cut me off. Well, when you're the one being cut off, you can never really tell if it's like a fade out or a cut off. But I've had friends that I've stopped talking to for a long period of time, and I'm like, okay, that's solid, because that's just life.
Yeah.
You can't be salty because somebody ain't talking to you no more. Because that person is moving and doing different things and trying to work on themselves. And if you get in the way of that, who are you to be like, no, keep me in your life?
Yeah.
Even though you're not benefiting me. But I completely understand that. When I see that somebody's not talking to me, I'm just like, okay, I'm not going to force myself on you. I'm not going to push myself on you. What's done is done. I'm going to go this way. You're going to go that way.
Yeah.
So, and wash your hands and keep it clean. I'm going to support you from a distance.
Yeah.
Or like a mutual cutoff. I love to troll with people. Like, I love to troll with you, Ed, and I like to joke with people just because just to have fun and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
There was this one girl. Toward like when my ex broke up with me, this was like I'm like, okay, all right, let me try and like find a new girl or whatever. So then this girl, like I'm we've known each other, God, like 9th grade or whatever. So this is like 11th grade. I'm like, hey, let's hang out. Let's go on a date. And it's like, no, I'm too busy or whatever. Da, 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 da. And then like the weekend after comes back with a boyfriend, and it's like, okay, cool, all right. And then like the next few years, like she has a history of like, because I worked with her on like shoots and stuff because we were in the same program. She had a history of not going to shoots or always being petty about stuff and manipulative or whatever. And I love to troll with her. You know why? Because I'm not looking for a relationship or whatever. And I just want to troll with her just for fun, So then, like, the end, like, the cutoff was, like, she posts, like, something, like, anti-Trump related. It was, like, Trump next to, like, Hitler or whatever. I'm like, okay, perfect opportunity to troll with her. So I put, like, hashtag Rubio 2020 just to mess with her. Just to mess with her. And she's like... And she wrote like
a paragraph probably.
No, she's like, oh, are you serious? We can't be friends. Unfollows me on Instagram. I'm like, all right.
That's real though.
Trump has got more people cut off than any other president in history.
Honestly.
Like
Trump got people blocking him on Twitter.
Yeah. Like he's divided people a lot. He's cut off a lot of relationships.
So quickly though.
So yeah, like, oh, you support Trump? Oh, I come on.
I had a study partner. I had a study partner in my culture anthropology class. He was like, "Yeah, me and my dad had dinner with Donald Trump one time."
No.
Yeah, like he's like real. I didn't even know it, but apparently he's like real rich, and their parents donated a lot of money to the campaign and stuff. I was like, "Oh, okay, that's cute." And then I never talked to him again.
Wow.
I don't have time.
I guess at the end of the day, we gotta respect people, and sometimes we gotta go our separate ways.
Yep.
Based on evolutionary psychology, actually, we naturally don't engage with a lot of people based on our history. There's our circle of influence. The people we talk to and engage with was smaller. Actually, I had the exact number, but now we just like connecting with so many people that our mind can't really conceive and like keep up with all this stuff. And that's kind of what's happening It's like we're getting overwhelmed with the amount of relationships. You probably know somebody in New York and Australia and like all over the world, and it's kind of like making us. It's too much for us, kind of, And I feel like sometimes we just gotta step outside of all of those things and look at the people who are most important in our lives, and those people are always gonna be there. It could be like your family members, or it could be your best friend, or it could be even your math teacher. But I've been saying this. It's like what matters most is the people who care about you most, and just like never lose connection with those people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just
because if somebody wants to stay in your life and you want them to stay in your life, y'all gonna keep up contact.
Yeah. So
that's the reason why I call my mom every day.
Yeah. I want to call my mom every day, but I don't know. Sometimes I just forget stuff. I'm telling you right now. Like as I'm speaking to you, this is like my biggest goal in the world. Like it's not even to make $1 million or change the world, but to just have good relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an obstacle. It's actually an obstacle for me. I'm like, why is it so hard? It's not really that hard. I don't know. It's something I'm trying to figure out. But that's what life is all about: is figuring out your strengths, your weaknesses, and working on those things, and becoming the best version of yourself. So we're about to end right now, guys.
Woohoo!
All right.
All right. So thank you, Corey, Brandon, and Denise. I was going to say it.
D-Nice.
For coming on the show today. I really appreciate you guys. It was actually a very good show.
Thank
Very
you
good show.
so
Thank
much.
you
It was
guys
really
for coming
fun. Have
through.
me on anytime.
Awesome. I'm definitely gonna have you guys again.
All right, no problem.
This second time Brandon came.
Hey. 2 times.
Any last words?
Can I plug the show?
Huh?
Can I plug my show?
Go ahead.
Okay. Catch Talent Time with Corey and Safia on Tuesdays at 12 on Owl Radio. We do Pop Culture Week in Review, and we take advice letters. And then at the end of every show, we dedicate a rant to something that pissed us off throughout the week. So go ahead.
Okay, can I
Go
also
ahead. Do your thing. Everybody.
solicit? Okay.
Everybody solicit.
I just want everybody to know that there's going to be a meeting Wednesday, October 25th from 4 to 4:50. It's basically going to be about movie production, student-based movie production. It's called Color Productions. And I created this group so everybody from every background, it's a very inclusive club because I've seen that clubs have a very separatist type thing, like this is our group, this is our group. I wanted to include everybody to show their talents and their skills and be creative and do and produce whatever content they want, as in terms of short films or whatever else content. So yeah, come to the meeting.
All right. Any last words, Brandon?
Join LTV.
Ouch.
Yeah. Check out. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. It's
All right.
like, check out LTV. Check out Ed's show. You could look him up. Ed Gills on.
I think you can Google him. I think if you Google him, he'll pop up.
Actually, yeah. If you Google me and put personal trainer, not only do I pop up, I have like pages, pictures. But thank you guys for tuning in to the Ed Talk podcast.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thanks,
you.
brother.
All right. Until next time, this show is aired on FAUoutradio.com. Please make sure you tune in every Mondays at 3 p.m. This is the show where we aim to push you to achieve the best version of you, as I try to do the same thing. So thank you for tuning in. You have a blessed, wonderful day. I'll see you next Monday, 3 p.m. Peace.
That was fun.
All right. Good stuff.